You wrote that Molly had the grave misfortune of living a few decades too soon
Yeah.
to kind of to play in a sort of era of women's basketball that she envisioned as possible. It made me just kind of curious about what if Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA a decade from now? Like what is her stardom entering a league that has 10 more years of growth? That is 10 years into a multi-billion-dollar media rights deal. Is it bigger, or is her stardom a smaller part of a bigger league?
To me, what I think, and it's hard to predict the future, right? Because people 5 years ago wouldn't have been able to say, wow, these NBA teams are going to turn over $250 million apiece for
Yeah.
an expansion franchise. So the growth opportunities are enormous, but I am fascinated. I cannot wait to see what players on the court who have gotten to watch Caitlin Clark now. And think about it this way: if you're entering the 2035 WNBA draft, you're 11 years old now. So you've had these years to be able to watch and develop over the next decade from what Caitlin has done, what Paige has done, what Angel Reese is doing in Chicago, and redefining what it is to be a big in this league. Again and again, people are able to build on one another through the years, and there's more and more opportunities to do it. By 2035, Lord knows how many WNBA teams there are going to be. We're going to have 18 of them by 2030. So, to your point, there are going to be more people with more opportunities to play big minutes in the WNBA. And I just think you're going to continue to get to see it. You're not going to have anyone who's at sort of the moment of tipping point, which is what Caitlin Clark is now. For her to
Yeah.
come along at a moment, and again, this is a product of time and place is not the same thing as saying, oh, it could have been anyone. Caitlin Clark has maximized it. She has gone beyond what anyone could do, but she is doing it when she's a freshman. The very first year, ESPN showed all the women's NCAA tournament games on TV. She is doing it at a moment where NIL redefines what fame looks like for any collegiate athlete. She is doing it at a moment that the NCAA was shamed into using their own March Madness branding for the women's tournament. I mean, the ultimate self-own. Like, we have March Madness branding. We're going to make more money if we use it for the women's tournament, but it takes an external review to convince the NCAA to do that. And we are seeing it at a moment in 2024 where the WNBA, for the very first time, advertised on the NCAA women's basketball tournament broadcasts. And that, as much as anything, to my mind, helped bring the audience from college over to the pro game. So doing it at this moment, at a moment that, by the way, the media rights deal was up. So they got to
Yep.
renegotiate in real time as Caitlin is setting records. And let's be clear, the non-Caitlin games are hugely growing as well. It gave them an opportunity to make a lot more money that's going to shape the opportunities for that kid today who is tomorrow's WNBA player of 2035.
So what do you think would have happened if Caitlin entered the WNBA 10 years ago, say?
I think a really good example is what happened to Brianna Stewart, somebody who was one of the elite players, and I've talked about this elsewhere. Like, when you're in this work, you're chasing that feeling. Oh my God, I just saw something I've never seen before. And I've had that opportunity 5 times in my career in basketball. In 2002, I saw this high school player at a tournament in Trenton named LeBron James. And I had never seen that before. I came home from seeing a freshman at Davidson play at Madison Square Garden named Steph Curry. I'd never seen that before. Elena Deladon at University of Delaware. Brianna Stewart at UConn, and then Caitlin Clark and what she's doing at Iowa. Not about greatness. It's about, I'm seeing something new. Had all this been available when Brianna Stewart was there, I think we would have seen a similar breakthrough in 2016. Maya Moore, if that had all been there in 2010. And quite frankly, Diana Taurasi in 2004, frankly, Molly Bolin in 1978. So that's the difference. And the flip side of it is, without those channels, without those opportunities, it doesn't happen. I watched the first 10 games of Caitlin Clark's collegiate career on Big Ten Plus, which is a lovely subscription product that I have because I watch everything. and I watched it on my iPad while I was working out. And that was the only way to see Caitlin Clark play. You couldn't even go in person because it was still the tail end of COVID. And so if that's the means by which people are watching Caitlin, as great as she is, that would have been an inherent ceiling on her.